for watching the recording. For the next 20 minutes or so, I'll be answering your questions live. So whatever you have in mind, you want to ask, be it about visas, residence permits, accommodation, health insurance, starting a business, my personal life, anything about move to Prague, whatever questions you might have, I'll be happy to answer them and we'll drink my tea. It will be roughly the next 20 minutes. Let's say I don't want to go more than until 21:40, so 24 minutes tops. Dorzila, hey, thank you very much for being the member, and good evening to you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I'll be happy to answer them. 7 questions at a time. Ooh, weird angle. Good weekend. Honestly, I don't even know. Like, people usually ask me, how was your weekend? And I cannot answer that because I generally don't distinguish time, really. So I don't know what's Monday, what's Saturday, and I don't know what's Thursday. So I guess good as the rest of my life. Wasim Yahuni, I'm 27 and I finished my master's 21. I'm applying for a student visa for Czech Republic. It's going to be a problem due to my age. Not necessarily. I talk about it all the time. It's not that much about your age. We've had some Indian students which were like, or who were 40 years old or whatever. So you can be a student anytime. It just must have a solid base. You know, if you've never studied anything and now you just out of the sudden, like you want to, at your 40, want to study Czech masters, that might be a bit weird, but if there is some reason why you want to study now, that should be okay. Brandon, hi, Anna. I just wanted to say the podcast was very entertaining. I like the casual vibes. Thank you very much, Brandon. For those of you guys who are watching and you don't know what Brandon is talking about, we've just launched a new podcast, which is called Borderline Czech, and you can find it on the main channel of Move to Prague here on YouTube and also on Spotify. And me and Daria, who are the owners and founders of Move to Prague, talk about our experience, about our clients, about our life. It's kind of fun, hopefully. It might be spicy at a time. There are real like experiences with immigration, with embassies, with clients. So it's like all a real talk about like life in the Czech Republic and moving here. So Brandon, thank you very much for watching. We'll be releasing more episodes. We already have some pre-shot. We'll be just releasing them and then we'll be doing new episodes every now and then. I don't know if it's gonna be a week or 2 weeks or what's gonna be the frequency, but we'll keep doing it for some time unless you get bored. But it's different than this live stream. It's like a talk. It's a podcast talk between me and Daria and sharing our experience. And sometimes we have like completely different opinions and different views of the same situation. So my approach is different in the same situation as Daria's. So we argue as well. So it should be fun. Dorzila, still waiting for the visa approval, so don't have any questions yet, but eager to listen to any information regarding moving to Czech. So, Dorzila, you definitely should go and listen to the podcast. So either go here to Move to Prague official channel, where you can see also like our faces and the actual studio and everything. Let me see if I can switch here. Yeah, this is the podcast, and this is what you find it on YouTube. So this is me with a microphone, and this is Daria with a microphone. So you can find it there, or then you can go to Spotify. It's called Borderline Czech, and you can find it there as well. So check it out. Let me know what you think, and if you would like some other topics for us to cover. Ahmed Hassan, hello Jan, how are you doing? I want to thank you so much for your help and support. My pleasure. I'm doing fine. fine. How about you? Inspire Insight, RK. Hayan, how many jobs can an expat do in Czech? Is there a restriction? Depends on what you mean, how many jobs. That's obviously given by the standard labor code, which means that you cannot really have like two full-time jobs, because that would be working 16 hours a day with no pauses, and that's not really possible. But if you want to have like main job and then some like side jobs, whatever, you can do that, but that the same rules apply there as for Czech citizens. The only difference is that if you have an employee card, for example, then not everything can be used for the employee card. So for example, DPPs, which is a very short time type of contract, you cannot really use it for an employee card. So there are some differences, but generally you can work as much as Czech citizens. Chamuki Bazuki, yes, the podcast's cool. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Watch out for other episodes, because we'll be releasing those, as I mentioned. Oh, hey, whoa, guys, let me show you. Fuck, that's nice. That's view from our window here. Wow, beautiful skies. Wow, I somehow disappeared. I wanted to show you the the view and I disappeared. Sorry, guys. Osam Yahumi, is it real that Minister of the Interior take 3 months to take decision for long-term visa? They can take as much as they want. So for some types of visas, it's 60 days, sometimes 90 days, sometimes 120 days. But it's not uncommon that it takes like 6 months or longer. So depends on what kind of visa you're asking about. Different visas have different official approval times, but the ministry does not really care anyway. They just, when they make the decision, they make the decision. Sebastian Perkun, I come to Prague with my remote job looking for an apartment. What are the requirements for getting an apartment? I'm an EU citizen. Money, generally, that's the only requirement. And second thing, which is kind of specific for the Czech market, I would say, the landlords must like you. They're not looking for any letters of recommendation or your bank statements or employment contracts or anything like that. They don't care. They just care about the money. So the deposit, the commission, the first month rent, all that. And they must like you. If they don't like you, they will not rent it to you. Aryan Singh, hey Anna, I'm from India. Give any tips, student visa interview. I have appointment on 26 June. Aryan, go check my channel somewhere. I still don't know where to click. I will probably not learn it anytime soon. But if you go to my channel and search for student visa interview, I've done a video specifically on that topic. Sebastian Perkun, and can you recommend a platform to look for an apartment, short-term and long-term? The best is use our services to help you find an apartment. But again, also you can go to my channel and I have different playlists. And one of the playlists is also about accommodation, finding accommodation, where I've done a couple of videos describing the different websites where you can go, what are the specifics of those websites, what should you be looking at and be aware of. So you can go there. You should get a lot of information from the videos. And then if you need any assistance with the long-term rental, we'll be happy to help. Just get in touch. We just don't do short terms because that's a very specific situation where we cannot really do much for you, but for the long term we can. Chamuki Bazuki, do you think Prague will ever do something like Spain to limit tourists? I would say it very much depends on what party is running the city. So hard to say. It might potentially happen or it might never happen, depending on the party. I would say they will do something maybe about Airbnb because that's been discussed. They've already banned the segways and then they are thinking about banning the Lime scooters. So they do stuff like that. But on the other hand, they rent out the properties in the city center to all these like tourist shops like with matryoshkas and like super weird Russian hats and bullshit like this and Captain Candies. Like, hopefully they will not sue me, but like, why do you need like 10 Captain Candy stores in like 500 square meters in the city center. That's just like stupid bullshit in my opinion. And the city should kind of limit to whom they rent these properties if they want to like change something about that. So tourism, I don't think that's much of a problem, or it is when it becomes like super like exaggerated. But one thing is how they behave and what do they do here, the tourists, and like what kind of services you provide to them. And then also Airbnb is kind of a problem. So kind of depends. It's always a topic, but then it only is a topic until the election happened, and when the election happened there are other topics, so hard to say. Dorzila will definitely check that out. Let me know then, maybe in the next live stream or comment under the podcast, whatever, what you think. Education Academy, hello. Pravin Nangar, sir, if I call my wife here, will the accommodation proof in my name be sufficient for her, or will I have to get it separately? Ideally, she should have her own proof of accommodation. Aryan saying, is this the right time or am I late? For what? If you already have the interview on 26 June, you should be fine. If you were now starting the process, that would be kind of late. Ahmed Hassam, I am Abdel Rahman's dad. I believe he contacted you last few days and you give him a full support. Really appreciate your support. Abdel Rahman, yeah, I remember. He submitted his student residence permit application a couple days ago, I believe. So thank you very much. Happy to help. Samad, does Czechia have jobs for entry-level services now, jobs that they're comfortable hiring outside of EU? Grafton had a few jobs, maybe you recommend Poland for that. It kind of depends. Like one thing is having jobs, and I think we have a lot of jobs available. Another thing though is how easy it is to move here for a job if you're a non-EU citizen, and that's a different topic, and that's not super easy, that's not even very easy, and that's not even easy. So many companies will better decide not to hire a non-EU citizen. So we have jobs, but getting a visa based on the jobs is kind of difficult. So other countries might be better, but it depends. For entry level, probably yes. If you have something like that is wanted on the market, let's say if you're a software engineer or developer, or if you're a welder, those are now in like high demand. Or if you have something valuable, then employers will do whatever they can to get you here. If it's just some entry position, no experience, no really like special skills or anything like that, might be difficult to convince any employers to get you here. Education Academy, I loved your first podcast. Woohoo! Thank you guys. It sounds like you're liking it, which is good, and it's very kind of, it wants us make more of those. We've already have some shot. We have like 4 episodes ready, and then we'll be doing more, kind of also depending on if there is something new happening, or if you have some suggestions, if there are some topics you would like to hear. So thank you very much for watching those and listening to those. For those who don't know, me and Daria have launched a new podcast called Borderline Check, both on YouTube here on the main page of Move to Prague, and also on Spotify. So Borderline Check it out. It was too informative, and also about how bad is MOI sometimes losing the papers. Yeah, that happens. Used to happen more, but it still does. Cristiano Ronaldo, hello. Zdraví, double legalization. What do you mean? Sebastian Perkun, thank you so much. Osim Yahuni, is it true that student visa is the easiest type of visa? I would say not anymore, because many people fake it, especially from India and other countries as well. But India is the biggest problem now, that people just say, we want to study in the Czech Republic, and then they come here and 3 years don't do anything, don't study at all, don't go to school, and then they switch to like an employee card, and that destroys the whole system, because now it's getting more problematic, and even like real students will be in trouble getting visas. So it definitely used to be, and generally from the perspective like what documentation you need and how difficult it is to get, it's still one of the easiest. But because people fake applications and there are not honest people applying for student visas, then it's getting more difficult for everyone. Ahmed Hassan, would you tell me what do you mean with long-term accommodation? Do you mean more than a year? Depends on what are you asking about? Because for visas, for example, the validity of your accommodation can shorten the validity of your visa. So if you get accommodation only for 6 months, you will only get visa for 6 months, or whatever is left when you're approved, which can be 2 weeks, for example, if it takes 5 months to get it approved, which can happen. But generally long-term accommodation is for us, if like that we help with that, that would be around a year at least, because the standard lease agreement here is minimum of 1 year, potentially 2 years. So we help with that. We don't help with like 3 months accommodation or 3 weeks accommodation. Half a year, 6 months might be the borderline, but generally 1 year is long-term accommodation. At 10 food, does the ministry accept account statement from digital financial services that issue a Visa card and allow global withdrawal for student visa? They're starting. For example, Revolut or Wise, which don't have any physical branch, so you cannot get any physical documents. They usually accept it now. Marquis, outdoors. I have PR on a British passport. Now I have an EU passport. Can I just transfer my PR? Potentially, yes. But definitely what you need to do is to change your nationality. So update the nationality with the MOI and then see what happens. The PR, honestly, it kind of like, if you are an EU citizen, the PR does not really grant you any additional rights other than like voting in some elections and stuff like that, and maybe a faster way to citizenship. But other than that, like from the working perspective, living here, you have the same rights as Czech citizens anyway. Wasim Yahuni, podcast for student visa. Hope you do it. We might. That's a topic that might interest a lot of people. So we might do that. For the student visa interview, I've done a video about that here. So like somewhere here, like here, somewhere on my channel. So if you go there, find it there, and you get some tips there. But we might do something with Daria as well. Samat, I will look towards Poland then. Is there a young Kalina for Poland? Love you, man. Okay, that's cool. That was funny. Not sure if there is any young Kalina for Poland. If you find him, let me know. That was funny. I enjoyed it. Thank you. Suri Singh Raiswal, I'm a chef. Good for you. Chamuki Baziki, what are they doing to close the student visa to employee card loophole? Well, generally they will stop approving student visas to avoid the fake applications. So now if like 1,000 students apply and like 800 get approved, then 1,000 will apply and like 400 will get approved. So that's what the ministry will do. So if you're cheating, guys, you're making it difficult for everyone else who comes after you, which I guess you probably don't care about. You only care about yourself, which is a human nature. So yeah, whatever. But this is how it works. It's not like it's not just you. The ministry sees everyone and then they change the rules based on everyone's behavior. Mechahid. Hello, for blue card application in my diploma I have a signature, so if I take true copy, one from university, and with signature after apostille, is it work? My diploma I have signature, so if I take true copy of the university from university, not sure what you mean exactly. Generally speaking, all the documents you're using for application must be originals, apostilled, and then translated into Czech. So if you don't want to lose the original, then you need to make an official copy, but I would recommend doing an official copy in the Czech Republic by a Czech notary and not by a foreign notary, because then you should first apostille the diploma and then you should do the notarized copy, and then you should apostille the notarized copy again. So it's kind of unnecessary complicated. Samad, isn't the blue card dying and practically dead in Czech Republic? At least that is what AI told me. Don't believe AI, man. That's still kind of not exactly working properly, because they have like outdated information, and it's not like an intelligent, it's not artificial intelligence. It's just like kind of a bit better text prediction what your phone has. So I would definitely not like get the information there 100%, but generally the blue card was a good idea, but it's not like a solitary thing. That's like other things that the ministry should be doing to support that, and I'm not sure if they're really doing that. So the blue card still exists. We still have some applications, but it's never been like the huge thing they planned on it being. Like that we will be receiving like thousands and thousands of highly qualified people moving here, and like that's the immigration we want. So that's not like that. I would not say it's like completely dying or it's dead. I don't have the data for that, and AI does not have the data for that either, I don't think. But it's not like as big as thing as it used to be, or as the ministry planned. Shekar, does the 3-year period start from my initial entry date? Does it include time spent abroad or only time physically in the country? What do you mean by 3-year period? Shekar, let me see if I missed something, but I don't know what you mean by 3-year period. Channel 2, I have interviewed for study visa in New Delhi on 9 June. How long I can get the visa? I have study starting in September. Hopefully you will get it before September, but that's not guaranteed. Sahat Sahu, hi, I'm Kerala. Hi, Kerala. Sebastian Perkun, are you allowed to work with a student visa? Asking for a girlfriend. Good. Generally, yes, but it depends if you have a proper student visa or if you have the other. If you have the other, then in most cases you cannot work. If you have the proper student that you study an accredited program, then you are allowed to work. Marquis Outdoors, that's what I was thinking. Thank you so much. Just MOI and biometric is pain. Yeah. My language, Malayalam. This is my language. Okay. My language Czech. A toto je můj language, toto je můj jazyk, tak to mluví Češi. Raymond Hodge, I sent you email at the weekend. I absolutely going to reach back out closer to time when we are going to move. Thank you for your honest response. I hope you can come. We love your country. It's still lovable. We'll see if that stays like that. Because there are some things I don't like in the way they are changing now, but generally it's still a very, very good country to live in. So hopefully we'll help you move here and live your life, live your dream here. Ignish Sony, I applied for permanent last week. I had partnership visa. I took a bunch of documents with me and they only took an accommodation contract, and that's what does it mean? Will I get it? It's kind of weird that they only took like accommodation, because generally if you have partnership visa, then you must again submit all your proofs of relationship for the PR. So potentially they will send you a letter requesting some additional documents. And it's been 25 minutes, guys. So Chamuki Bazuki will be the last one I'll answer. So Chamuki Bazuki before at 10 Food, Kusuma Priya, Mechahit, Kusuma Priya, and Czechia with Dr. Mohsin. So these will be the last ones. So Czechia with Dr. Mohsin, can we convert scientific research permit to an employee card after finding the job? Yes, you can do that. UCAM Kerala, I've never been, and not sure if I will ever go. I generally don't like traveling much, honestly. Not at this point. Anyway, so hard to say if I'll ever go, but is there anything interesting in Kerala I should see or visit when I'm there? Kusuma Priya, hello Jan, as a PhD student shifting to combined study form, when applying for dual employee card from Prague, can I submit my recognition document of master's degree instead of translated diploma? Well, it depends anyway on what is the requirement for the position for the employee card. But potentially if you have the nostrification, that's a good question. I guess so. That's a good question. Honestly, I don't know, but I would guess so because that's a recognition of your diploma in the Czech Republic. So that should serve as a good enough proof for the ministry. And also the accommodation contract of this year was signed by owner 6 months back, but I can still submit legalized one or need to have new document for MOI submission. Generally, all the documents should not be older than 6 months. So if this was signed more than 6 months ago, it's likely that the ministry will request something fresher from you anyway. So not necessarily a new lease or something, but at least a new, fresh confirmation of the landlord saying, yeah, the contract. Sorry, guys. The contract is still valid. Possible that they will also not request anything. That depends kind of on the decision maker. But officially speaking, none of the documents you'll be submitting should be older than 6 months. So if it was signed longer than that before, they should not accept it. Metshahid, I have e-signature in my original diploma. University don't add wet signature. They can provide true copy with wet signature. Well, it kind of depends primarily on the apostille. If someone can apostille the document without a wet signature, that's fine. If they cannot do it, then making the copy and getting it apostilled, that might be a better solution. So the last two questions. At 10 Food, sir, if the digital financial company is regulated by the Central Bank of Lebanon, offering Visa cards and international funds access, does the minister accept it or must be a European company? You don't necessarily need to have a European bank or anything like that. As long as it's a legit bank, it's not on some like blacklist, and you have a debit card which you can use in the Czech Republic, you should be fine. Chamuki Bazuki, what things don't you like that are changing in Czechia? That would be for like a separate live stream, but generally about Prague, I don't know, it's just, especially the city center, if you go there and like if I meet you in the Philippines and then I tell you, okay, I will like put a mask on your eyes and then I will take you somewhere in Europe and tell me where you are. Then if I put you in the city center, then it's like exactly the same as any other city center in any other country in Europe. You know, the same shops like Flying Tiger of Amsterdam or whatever that is, like all Starbuckses and all the same like Captain Candies and bullshit like this. And it's just kind of, you know, in my opinion, it's a bit losing the charm and the character, that it's becoming like the same as any other city. But other than that, there are good changes as well. And as I mentioned, this would be normally the last question, but Kainaret, I'm sorry I'm mispronouncing, is a subscriber or not a subscriber, is a member of the community, like a paid member, so I'll answer that as well. Mr. Jan, I got student visa and I have a question about first 3 days after arrival to the Czech Republic. I will send in another address instead of which I showed in application. Would it be a problem 3 days? Well, within 3 days, you should get registered with the foreign police. And if you stay in a hotel, they do it on your behalf. If you stay with a friend, for example, then you should go potentially register with the foreign police yourself, but then they could ask questions about the accommodation. So it's kind of difficult for me to answer if I don't know what is the motivation behind it. Like if you will be moving to the accommodation which you mentioned in the application, it just will be a bit later because you want to stay with your friend for 3 days, or if you will not be moving there at all because that was a fake address, or if you will be, if you just got a visa, or if you got a residence permit approved, so you will also need to go to the Ministry of the Interior. Generally speaking, you should always finish the visa process or residence permit process with the same address which you use for the application to make it easy. And then if you change address, that's fine. But you should definitely get registered with the foreign police within 3 days, unless your accommodation provider does it. So hopefully this is some kind of answer, because this might potentially be a very complicated situation. So I would need to know a bit more. Since you are a paid member, you can ask me a question if you go to some, like, I don't know how to call it, like you can ask questions there. You can write a post and I will see the post and I will shoot a video reply to you because you have the subscription. So maybe let's do it like that. Write a bit more about like your situation, what you got approved, if it's a visa, like the sticker in your passport, if it's a residence permit, why you are changing the address, and then I'll be happy to shoot a video just for you. Thank you for information. My pleasure. And Chamuki Bazuki, it's a theme park now. Yeah, that would be kind of that, you know, like, yeah, everything you see is restaurants, bars, supermarkets, escape rooms, and like that's it, like nothing else in Prague right now. So yeah, and all the anyway, like it's all the same things. I still love Prague. I still think it's a beautiful place to live and very safe and all that. It's just old, same old. All right, with more detail in the newest video here. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys, for joining the live stream or for watching the recording. I will see you again. Have a good night, and I see you again Thursday, Monday, Thursday, Monday, until the end of the world. Good night, guys. Bye-bye. Thank you for being here.